All right. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. I don't even know what happens after I hit start webinar. So let's get ready to go. What is up, App Nation? Welcome to this amazing webinar all about mobile games growth. Now, I've brought on 2 experts to talk about the full scope of the mobile gaming space. We got Fyber, who's going to talk all about monetization and UA. We got SocialPeta, who's going to be talking about what's really working from the advertising standpoint, what popular game genres there are, what are the popular UA creatives, and all that stuff. So I feel like this is going to be an action-packed webinar. And if you got any questions, obviously leave it in the webinar comments as well. So joining us from the Fyber side, we've got Ido Hofstetter. He's the director of publishers account management at Fyber, a digital tribune company. Ido has been a business leader for over 5 years and is an expert in the ad monetization space, app monetization space, especially for gaming companies. Now, in case you're under a rock, Fyber was acquired by Digital Tribune in 2021 alongside Ad Colony and is part of Digital Tribune's independent mobile growth platform for advertisers, publishers, carriers, and OEMs. If you haven't been following along, all that really means is they got a full suite of monetization and UA solutions. Ido, welcome.
Welcome. Thank you. Yeah, digital, just a little thing, digital turbine.
So what did I say? Yeah. What have I saying?
Tribune, but it's all good.
What the hell am I doing? Okay, I apologize. There's no second take on this. So digital turbine, I apologize. And then joining me on the SocialPeta side, we've got John, who is the business development manager, and SocialPeta covers over 80 global ad networks across 70 countries and regions, including Unity, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok. They've accumulated over 1 billion. That's what the B ad creatives, updating 1.2 million ad creatives on a daily basis. You can get insights into your competitors' advertising data and see what's really working for them. One of my favorite things was they'll tell you how long an ad has been running for one of your competitors, so you can really see what's working for them. But John, welcome to the webinar.
Hi, Steve. I'm glad to be here again. Yeah, thank you.
Did I mess up on SocialPeta too?
Yeah. No, yeah, it's okay. It was
correct. Messing up my pronunciation. All right, Ido from Digital Turbine. Ido, what's got you most interested in the monetization space?
Well, monetization it moves so quickly, right? Everything moves so fast. Every day someone gets acquired. One of the most interesting things that have been going on recently is the brand. Brand is coming into the gaming space, in-app gaming space. We see more and more brand buyers. We see the big names, the food companies, jewelry, cars. A lot of these are going into in-app. It's not anymore only other apps, UA, other performance buyers. Now we see a lot of brand. And obviously, a lot of these brand buyers, they have a lot more money than another big studio who spends on UA.
Is there anything, so when you're talking about brands, you're saying brands are advertising in the mobile game space. Is there anything that we can do as a developer to make sure that we start highlighting some of these brands, or what's the best way, knowing this knowledge, what's the best way that we can do something actionable that we can do with this knowledge,
So basically, sometimes the brand buyers, they tend to buy for slightly lower prices than the UA buyers. However, they when you look at churn and your retention rate, so when a user sees an ads by, for instance, Coca-Cola, there's a smaller chance that it will churn, right? Because it's not going to go and play one of their competitor games. And therefore, working with networks that can offer brand is a key for the success. It's part of the diversification of your ad suite. And obviously, once they see success, once the brand buyers, the agencies, they see more and more success and in monetization, they will spend more money.
Are there any ad units that we can be utilizing to make sure we show up some of these brands too?
Definitely. So brand is all over the place. You can see them you can see more and more brand come into rewarded video. So if you're familiar with rewarded video, so basically you get a certain reward for doing something inside the app. Normally rewarded video tends to be the format, one of the priciest formats out there.
Yeah.
Right? So, and you get a certain virtual currency for your action, for watching a video. We see more and more brands going into this space of the rewarded video. We see brand into interstitials as well as video interstitials. A user can see a nice video of Coca-Cola or other big companies, and then it causes them to engage. We've always been seeing a lot of brand under banners. So on banner ads, normally the bottom of the screen, there's a lot of brand there as well. They've been buying for quite high prices. So under banners, they always are able to compete really well with the performance buyers.
I like it. All right. Now joining me in the next corner. All right, that was a little bit loud. We got John from SocialPeta. John, what's got you most excited from the UA front?
Like actually, like after the pandemic season, we call it like post-pandemic era. Like the market is being more competitive. So right now, the importance of like creatives or mobile games are increasing highly. And the latest trend also, which is like really got me excited about it, I can say NFT is being a big part in the mobile gaming as well. Like I think this is going to be more and more in the upcoming years because like right now many mobile games are also letting us to like earn NFTs instead of just like purchasing or like buying NFTs inside of the game. And we are also thinking a combination for ad creatives, like how we can combine this with the NFTs in the mobile industry, because this is the hottest topic in 2022 actually. NFT mobile games.
Wow, that's interesting. What I mean, do you see, because I know nothing about NFTs, John, but do you see mobile gaming being the one category where people like most mobile gamers understand what NFTs are?
Yeah, like yeah, why not? Because I can say that like mobile gaming actually is living the peak season, the peak years of it, because you know, like people are looking for like more like mobile life, like when they are not like connected or stable in a place, so when they are like outside or doing their own thing, so they would like to get connected with their mobile phones. And that's why this is the reason why mobile gaming is also increasing. And so the latest trend in the world is also NFTs and the cryptocurrencies, and like these two combinations, like I never think that like mobile gaming audience will never like get into the NFTs or like cryptocurrencies. I think this is gonna be like a new age for mobile gaming as well, because while people are also like playing their mobile games, they're also looking for how they can make some income at the same time. So this is the easiest way to do.
Yeah, I like it. All right, let's get started with this. Hey, Ido, measuring the success of and the efficiency of your monetization, what are some of the best practices in optimizing your monetization stack?
Right. So basically, we always say you must test everything, right? So we have a certain feature on Fyber and Fyber called the multi-testing, and there you're able to test bidding. So today, one of the biggest things that have been happening in our industry is we've seen more and more networks go into bidding. But yet you want to know if you're actually making more money. Are you actually increasing your ARPDAU when you go into bidding? So we're able currently to run up to 5 variants where we're able to see waterfall versus bidders and get a better understanding whether or not we're able to increase the actual ARPDAU of the publisher. We can also split it by percentage and do some other kind of tests. But the idea is test as much as possible. Automation, right? So, the waterfall, we've all known the waterfall for so many years. We see a lot of the networks going into bidding. but there's a lot of manual work. And therefore, we have a lot of tools that will help to automate, to create all the instances and to monitor. A lot is going into automation. Basically, bidding is automation as well of the waterfall. So we see this is a very big thing that has been happening recently. And most important, or one of the most important, is transparency. Do I know what is going on inside my mediation layer? Is my mediation competing with me? If I'm a game developer, do I know if the mediation is competing with me? Are they fishing out some of my users to go into their own gaming platforms? Some of the competitors of Fyber, they have their own gaming studios. Does it make sense to own a gaming studio and yet to be a mediation layer? At Fyber, we create a lot of tools that will show transparency. It will show the developer exactly what happens in the waterfall. It's not just a black box. There's a lot of reporting layers, helps the developer to make decisions.
I want to hit on a couple of things, what kind of decisions? Like, all right, we understand this data. Sometimes here's what I feel about data is like, what the hell do I do with this? This is a lot of data. How do I go through it and make the proper decisions? So what kind of decisions are you helping developers make?
For instance, refresh rates, right? You want to show the user an ad for 10 seconds, or you want to show him for 11 seconds or 12 seconds. You should be able to A/B test all these things in real time. Maybe it makes sense to show in a certain country a 10 seconds ad, and in a different one, only 11 seconds. There's so many tests to do. How many instances should you offer per each and every one of the networks? Should you offer them 5? Should you offer them 6? Do you reach latency? There are a lot of questions that that can help the developer to increase his ARPDAU.
And then in the multi-test frame, so I'm going to ask like a newbie type of question, but is it testing different ad units, or is it testing what you were talking about? Like, hey, how you're getting paid, like the I'm assuming it's eCPM regarded when you're talking about bidding and what's the other word that you use? But is that what we're testing here? Waterfall, bidding. So it's like the mechanism that you're getting the highest eCPM versus like the ad units. What are we testing here?
Well, it's a very good question. You can test lots of things. That's the cool part about it. You can take a certain network and you can check it on bidding versus non-bidding, because most of the networks, they were able to buy under a waterfall method before the bidding part. But yeah, there's so many tests that you can do. Like you think of latency, because right at the end, the user, he wants to see an ad. So how long does it take until the user sees an ad? And therefore, if you want to have a lot of calls, a lot of instances inside the waterfall, what happens if you have 5 instances versus 7 instances? How do you increase the ARPDAU of the developer?
Got it. And then what if you had to just pick one, and put you on the spot? If you had to just pick one of the first tests you should start to really increase your monetization, what would that first test be for you?
Well, I think I would go to diversification. I would keep on testing everything. You think of like what kind of a developer you are, what kind of games are you creating? Are you hyper casual, where you show quite a few ads and quite a few formats? Do you have like a strategy game, a mid-core game where you might show only rewarded video and the offer wall? So the offer wall is another really cool tool that we have, Offer Wall Edge, where you can show there are certain offers and you complete an offer, and then you get in exchange for certain virtual currency in the game. So, I mean, it's like, we do know that a lot of users, they spend money, or some of the users, they spend money, but not all the users are spending money in IAP inside the game. And yet we want to give, the developer wants to give all the users a certain abilities to succeed in the game. He wants the users not to get only to level 1 to 3. He wants to have the users continue and engage and have very long retention with the game. And therefore, for certain users are never going to spend any money. And these kind of users, they might be using more the offer wall or the rewarded video in order to continue with the game.
Got it. And then are any NFTs happening in the offer wall?
Well, it's still very new, but yeah, there are all sorts of discussions of adding NFTs, but you know, NFTs is still it's still not there. We don't see it just yet, but I'm sure it will be soon.
Yeah, I like it. John, are you a little disappointed by that?
No, yeah, he said right. Like it's not there yet actually, but we see the wave is coming, and we see also the demand in the market is increasing, like day by day actually.
Yeah, I actually saw one of these. I don't know if you guys seen these, like walk for coins type of thing, your sweat coin being the bigger ones out there. But now I'm seeing walk or exercise for NFT being a very popular search and people looking for that too. Pretty interesting. I still know nothing about this. I feel like my parents, what's PayPal? That's what I'm feeling like today. All right, John. So what's been going on in the overall mobile game market? What have you guys seen on your end? Because you do have billions and millions of ad creators you're analyzing. What have you guys seen in Q1 of 2022? So give us the latest and greatest.
You want me to start?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. Actually, Ido really also mentioned really like good points about like monetizing a game, because like, you know, like what we do like about our like ad intelligence is also like matching with like this kind of services, because like we bring the users to the games and they are like keeping and making money from that. So we are like kind of partners in that, and it also affects the like retention, the ad frequencies, and there are many like narrow marketing details also how to keep the clients like users inside. And as I mentioned at the beginning of the conversation, like previously, like there is the market has changed a little bit after the COVID. Actually, right now we don't see like that much amount of publishers, but we see the creative amounts are increasing, because right now the retention rates are also decreasing again, especially for the hyper casual games. And that's what I also want to talk about later. We see the growth is also like getting slower, like, but the creatives are getting higher. That means, okay, you have less competitors in the market, but you have also less chance to get user acquisition. Because right now people are spending less time on their mobile devices, and there are like so much creatives in the market. And this is also a good chart actually, like the cost decrease of like global mobile games in 2022. So we can see the active advertisers also, and in March we like see the sharp increase. But the average ad creatives are also like decreasing. When we see the last year, just like by like February, March, and April, it was really on the peak point. And the problem of here also, like for example, I'm also responsible of like Turkish and Israel market, especially for the Turkish market. I can say that the peak point here is the hyper casual games. Like Turkey is becoming one of the most important countries for hyper casual. And I can say that like this is gonna also like affect the future of the market, because right now like also the studios and the publishers are questioning like about, okay, now the pandemic, the COVID is over, okay, like we are like pushing hyper casual games to the market, like can market still hold the hyper casual for that? So in 2022 we are also expecting some like changing on hyper casuals. Like maybe we can talk about this later, like deeply, like maybe by the end of the like our webinar. The thing is like they cannot keep the users right now in their games, so retentions are getting lower again for especially hyper casual. And the most expected things like for me in 2022, we will see some like big changes on the structures of especially hyper casual games. Like people start to call this like hybrid casual. there will be some new like features will be added for like this kind of games to increase the retention rates actually. And like here, like we're also seeing the percentage of advertisers, like which genre has the most advertiser. It says like casual here because also like hyper casual is also included in this percentage under casual name. And so when we also see the creatives, like casual creatives are the most because the flow is really big on the casual genre. For example, when we compare it with the simulation game or like arcade game or strategy games, these are like long-term games actually. So if you are, I'm sure that like many of the people who are listening right now, they are more into the hyper casual. I'm not saying like it's basic, but I'm saying like it's more easier to handle like with a small of groups, like when you like just create a studio or when you just start a business. So I'm sure that they're interested in hyper casual. And right now, like as we like show in the chart, right, the creative amounts are really high, and this company amounts are also really high. So this is gonna be like challenging for them to how to get in the market. So that's why we are providing these solutions to them, like how to like get a like right strategy, decent strategy for the creatives, like which kind of creatives are suitable for any kind of genres.
Got it. Colin asked, it might be in perfect time to bring this slide up too, but John, are you seeing a rotation back to ad spending on Facebook, Instagram, and which platform? So are you seeing things shift back into Facebook and Instagram? And then which platform are you seeing the most platform be the most beneficial or benefit the most from Facebook's losses?
Like Facebook is always like one of the big ones, like all the Facebook channels. Like, but we also see the good increase on the like TikTok channels actually. Like recently, like there is also like good impressions from these channels. And but the key point is the cost actually, like how you can handle the cost, because maybe the people who watched the previous webinar like will remember that we were mentioning the video like creatives and the playable creatives for the mobile gaming industry. And as we can keep the like CPM lower, okay, like that will give us a good chance to at least also to publish some maybe like video creatives. But as the creative amounts are increasing, also like probably Ido like will also mention important points about the costs, like how to like keep them stable or like lower as much as possible. And like this is the key point. But for your question, I can say that the Facebook channels right now are always important, but also like there are also the other channels like TikTok creatives are also getting like good impressions, plus their cost is a bit lower. Yeah.
What are you seeing on your end, Ido?
So it definitely, you know, obviously everyone sees like the pandemic and after post-pandemic, but the interesting part is that, you know, everyone became gamers on the pandemic, right? So
Yeah,
everyone was playing games. Obviously, hyper casuals, everyone was playing these as well. I was playing them too. I still play them. The thing is that, you know, like many of the users that started playing, they still play, right? So, you know, if everyone always thought that like who plays all these games, these are 16-year-olds, right? And 16-year-old boys, but it basically, it's not really the truth. Basically, you know, the ages, you know, you have like a variety of ages. You have ladies who are 50 years old and they love the puzzles or words games or other casual or other hyper casual games. I think it just took a lot of the users, like users who were not playing games and now they are playing games. Maybe they might play a bit less than what they did, but they still play games. They turned a lot of users into gamers. And we see like a very steady split between and even split between women and men. And this brings us again back to the idea of brand dollars. Like it's not kids who are playing games. That's not the case. This is why recently we developed the Open Measurement SDK, where we're able to offer viewability measures for agencies. We are now convincing these agencies, we're telling them, guys, listen, it's not children. These are actual audiences. These are the kind of audiences that you are looking for. And I believe, like, as part of the diversification, especially now post-COVID, where everything became like so digital, right? We will see a lot more brand go into these, into the in-app, into the gaming. When we launched the Open Measurement SDK, we immediately saw 12% increase. We saw a lot of ads, a lot of new ads, a lot of new domains that we've never seen before. And all of these, they come through some of the major DSPs that work with all the big agencies in the world. And I don't believe that this is going away. This is going to be, it's going to grow and grow and be a bigger chunk.
I can, John, I've seen the same thing from working with a ton of clients and talking to a ton of people as well, that yes, there's been some troubles on the Facebook side, but TikTok has been the one channel that a lot of people have been just talking about, like TikTok on that end too. Yeah. Hey, one thing I wanted to talk to you about is I'm going to a newer game developer out there who's, saying, hey, look, I just launched and, there's all these ad creatives that I have to do. Is there one that you're like, hey, if you're just starting out and you want to start advertising, you got some budget, you can do all these, but is there like a couple that you're like, hey, start with these and this should get you most of the way there?
Well, it really depends on what kind of developer you are. So, if we start the easiest would be to start with the hyper casuals, because the hyper casual tend to work with, they work with a rewarded video, and they work with full screen video and banner. Mostly the hyper casuals, they don't really offer any kind of proper virtual currency, but just for the continuity of the game, like, you play a certain game, you fall, you die, and then you get another life, right? So that's where the rewarded video will come into place. So if you're like this kind of publisher with a lot of your, or maybe all of your revenue, it comes in from ads, then I would suggest, trying all the three: the rewarded video, the full screen interstitial video, and the banner. Now, if you are more of a casual game, like match 3, it's very common, or card game, word game, then these are what we call as casual games. A lot of these casual games, it depends how much they rely on in-app purchase versus in-app ads. And then it depends. They either might use the same 3, like the hyper casuals, or they will just use the banner or the interstitial. It depends how much they want to interfere with the gameplay. The interesting part, if you go to a bit the deeper games, like the games that, when you download them, it takes all the battery from your phone. The kind of games that, it makes your phone really slow. So they mostly rely on in-app purchase. Sometimes it can be 80% for in-app purchase, and the rest will be ads. Sometimes it can be even more, like 95% in-app purchase. And like I said before, the problem with these kind of publishers is they have a certain percentage of users who will actually spend money in the game, which can be like, 5% will be not bad, and then like 1% will be whales, and maybe 10% will ever spend any money in the game. Like, what do you do with all the rest of these users? How do you let them enjoy the game? They want to continue, they want to play the game, they will advertise the game. And for these kind of users, you want to show the rewarded video and the offer wall. The offer wall is very cool because when you a rewarded video, it's a matter of like 30 seconds, maybe 35 seconds, depends if you go into an end card. The offer wall, in order to complete an offer, it's slightly more difficult. It takes a bit longer, but then you get a lot more virtual currency for it. Basically, it's kind of a bit like working, right? But fun working, because you can, for instance, download an app and then play another game. and reach a certain level. So we classify the different offers. There's an easy offer and there is a hard offer. And you as a user, you can decide which kind of offer you would like to complete. But it works very well with the game, especially on more of the heavier games, but yet you can see them on casual games as well. Some of the match 3 or puzzle games, they will still have an offer wall, which can be integrated well as, and we see these.
Banners, huh? Banners was like a popular thing. I was like, wow, banners still working. I remember talking to Christian Calderon, who at the time he was the CRO of Ketchup, and he was saying like our number 2 most moneymaker ad unit was banner ads. And I was like, holy cow, that's insane. And so it's pretty interesting. We thought banners were dead.
No, banners are like super big. We see more and more publishers, developers asking about banners. Basically, it's not really intrusive, right? I mean, it's in the bottom of the screen.
No.
They're cheaper, but if you have a long game, a long puzzle game, they flash and flash and flash and flash, and then you get paid for each and every one of these refreshes.
Yep.
So, and they're mostly brand. They're very, very brand orientated. It's really worthwhile checking the banner. Like I said before, you constantly need to test. You need to test all the time. You need to diversify. You need to look for the new thing. And the banner is it's coming back. We hear a lot of many studios asking for this now.
When you're talking about the refresh rate, I asked you, hey, what should you be testing? You said 10 seconds, 11 seconds. You're primarily talking about the banner, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right. I am following along. Look at me. All right, John, what are you seeing on the advertising or just the ad creative standpoint? I noticed that, you guys have shown that more and more people are using real people and celebrities too.
Yeah. That like, as Ido say, like for the deeper games, that's a strategy to use, like to find some like celebrities to use on your own creatives. But here the key point is to like, are you going to satisfy your audience, or like how are you going to affect your user experiences? Like, for example, for the deeper games like match 3 or like strategy games, nobody's not gonna like piss off for the like full screen video. But for the hyper casual, like that's the biggest problem of hyper casual actually. Like when the users are facing the creatives with the ads, like so often, this is affecting the user experience and the retention, of course. And so this is also common strategy to use celebrities like to help the boosting like your creatives and the user acquisition. And right now, like we are seeing really like good creative examples, like a movie trailer. Like just starts with like some celebrities. Of course, like people are not willing to like just like skip the video for this kind of creatives, but that's the good point. But of course, the bad point is the cost of these creatives, because like just to create this kind of creative is going to cost like more than normal like video or the image creatives. I want to say again, like here the key point is like how you're going to affect your like user experience. And again, as Ido said, like the genre and what kind of games are you making, this is also critical to choose like which path is the right path for you. And then testing is also really important. So that's why we are also showing to our like clients like which strategy for which genre is the perfect one, because like you cannot use the like similar like strategies or similar kind of ad creatives for any kind of genre, because he also gave some examples like banners or something like that. So that also depends on the genre and the category of the games, of course, and like how long are your users are like staying in your game, or like is it like one time playable games? Like there are also games like this, like many of their users are just like download, install the game, try, and then just delete it. So need to find the reasons of that, and need to find the correct strategy for them.
I like it. I really like this stuff too, because we are starting to see like UGC type of content ads really starting to take place, especially as you mentioned, John, before, with TikTok being a platform that people are really seeing good results with. and using real people, and doesn't have to be celebrities. So you don't have to spend millions on a Mariah Carey or some Korean movie star, but you can get some real people and get some content that way.
Yeah, like that's also making why like TikTok is being popular also for advertising, and because you know the algorithm of TikTok is different than the other like social medias. Like any kind of videos can go viral or something, and for the creative side, this is also common. Like as you say, you don't need to find a celebrity to like act in your creative or like video or something like that. You can also like start like with the simple one, but maybe a video one again. Like that, there can be a like story behind of your creative. Like these things works for like simulation games, for example, but not for casual games. Like for casual games, this is like more. They are more like the audience is more eager to like fast consuming. So that's not gonna work to spend that amount of money to like make some creatives with like celebrities or something like that, because your audience over there is more eager to like consume faster than like, for example, SLG here, as we give the example. So you can see all these three creatives have like similar points as like Rise of Kingdoms, like State of Survival and Lord of the Rings. These are the like similar genre of games. And so this has been like popular to create the creatives like with this like scenario behind like movie trailer.
Yeah, I like that
storyline.
I like this too, and
it doesn't have to be related with your game though. Yeah,
I've seen this with especially like the Voodoos of the world. They're like doing all these fail, like I bet you can't beat this. Traditional gameplay no longer. I mean, I'm seeing some of this stuff too, like this stuff that make it seem more like social media oriented type of content. Not, you know, like, so talk to me about this.
Yeah, like actually, like these are the main like elements for that creatives. Like for the last one, actually, that video and that game idea like came from TikTok, and the best ways like for to create the right creative for your own game. So like using the compressions were really popular, especially the last year. Like it's always good to show like one like good and the just average example, like to like compare them each other, and so people like will start to think that they can do much better than that. It's also related with like bad ending stories. So many people also like realize while they are playing a game, like one like ad appears, like creative appears, and so like somebody's trying to do a good job in the game, but it ends always bad. So there's a reason, of course, for that. That also makes the audience feel like okay, they can like change this like bad ending and they can do like much better. So they are like more into the install that game. And also the short videos, like usually they're from the live videos at first. For example, like this creative is related also a game which is like the floating on the ocean. So you're just like building your own like boat by collecting the stuff. So okay, this is not like 100% related, but the like there's like float counts, like okay, how long can you survive or something like that. So this like first 3 seconds is critical to show something like impressive to the audience.
I like it. Hey, one thing I want to talk to both of you guys about is, and John, you kind of brought this up, like retention. It's really hard. And what we've seen for our non-gaming apps, so I'm going to kind of see, and I know gaming companies are more like pioneers in this space, but what we've seen from non-gaming apps is like sometimes, you know, like for subscription-based apps, monetization drives retention. That's what I've been talking about through our channels. What have you guys seen? And, you know, you can bounce it off here. What have you guys seen, one that works well from a retention standpoint? And does that principle apply to mobile games? Getting people to pay so that they stay a little bit longer.
Right. So partially what we spoke about, if you want to let the user enjoy, he wants to succeed in the game. You want him to play the game for a long time. And therefore, you need to help him. You need to help him even if he doesn't want to spend any money. And in this case, that's why you need to implement something like where he can actually achieve virtual currency such as rewarded video, and such as the offer wall. But to add to that, if you add in brand, that can definitely help you increase the LTV of the user, right? So if you're able to have, if the user, his retention is longer, then you can probably pay also a bit more when you acquire this kind of user. And if you show the user, for instance, a brand ad, then the chance that he's going to churn is lower than when you show him another gaming ad. And therefore, you can increase the LTV, and you can become also more aggressive when you do the UA with this user.
I see. And then, I don't know if the psychology, why do you think seeing a brand ad adds to the LTV? Is it just because when I see a Nike or Starbucks, a big brand within your game, I'm like, hey, I kind of associate you guys with this big brand?
Definitely, developers want to be associated with nice ad, with, if you have some kind of football game, then you would want to have some Nike or Adidas or, one of these kind of brands. You would definitely prefer them over having another football game, right? So if your competitor has another football game, you would prefer not showing this ad on your game. Many of the developers, they will block these kind of ads, but every day there is a new developer who has a new football game, and therefore you would definitely prefer showing them someone neutral, someone who cannot compete with you.
An emergency call during the webinar.
Yeah, something like that.
Hey, one thing I want to point out is this case study you guys have on the Fyber website as well. And talk to me about this multi-reward offer wall, because what I was able to read through is, hey, having some ads in the offer wall allows you to not only increase your ROI, and we talked about CPI being the main metric too, but the retention lift, like you actually get retention going up as well. So what's this multi-reward offer wall?
So the idea is that, for instance, if you are an advertiser on the offer wall and you want to show certain amount of, you have different offers inside the offer wall. You have an easy, a hard, and a medium one. So when a user is playing the game, and let's say he really enjoys the new game that he's playing, and he downloaded a game, and now he's reached level 1, so he completes the first offer. When he reaches level 2, he completes the second offer. And when he reaches level 3 or 4 or 5, he completes the third offer, and he gets the virtual currency for all the offers he completed, even though he registered only to one offer. And this way, the user, he keeps getting virtual currency. He's using this virtual currency. He's enjoying the game, and he doesn't churn. So it keeps the retention, especially on these kind of users who would most likely not spend any money. Obviously, this is not forever. So if you start an offer, there's a certain amount of time that you have to complete it. It's not like, if years have passed, then most likely this offer is not valid anymore. But there are terms for the offer. And if you're able to complete the terms, then you can enjoy multiple virtual currency, multiple offers, even though you registered to only one offer.
Am I correct in thinking through this? Because it looks like this case study was talking about more of how Lilith, if I'm pronouncing this right, but they kind of used you guys for more acquiring the UA side of things. But from what I'm hearing from you is the offer wall actually helps both sides. So if you're the game showing the offer wall, you help increase your user retention because you're giving your users like advancements in the game. And then if you're running UA inside the offer wall, well, because people have to do certain things, they might require a little bit more, but those become good users for you from a UA standpoint. So it seems to be a win-win. Am I being dumb here?
Yeah, definitely. The advertiser, he enjoys this as well because he knows that he's still offering, he knows the user is now reaching level, he's not reaching only level 1, he's getting to level 3. So the advertiser enjoys this as well as the publisher, developer, who gets to enjoy higher eCPMs for this many offers which have been completed.
I like it. What are you seeing on your end from a retention standpoint, John? I know you guys really talk about more of ad intelligence, figuring out what's working, but I guess maybe the assumption could be like the types of ads that run the longest tend to be the ones that working the most in terms of, retention and for non-games like activation and subscription. So what are you seeing on your end?
Actually, I really liked this case study. I didn't know about that. How they are using also this like virtual currencies to also increase the retention, and but of course that example was from the strategy games, the structure of the game is totally different than the other genres, because they are more like long-term users, because you already put effort to like create your empire or something like that. So you're not gonna give up on that so easily like this. But that was a really like a great great example to how they are using the virtual like currencies to also like keep the audience like fresh with them. And that's why actually when I mentioned the hyper casuals, like why they don't see the feature in hyper casual, even the hyper casual studios, just because of this reason, because like they also might need like some in-app purchases or like some reward granted videos or something like that, but the game structure is not letting them to do this. So it's been like less chance to like keep them like making money by the videos. And so that's why like this like hybrid casual, as we say, like there's gonna be like some items to sell inside the game, like in-app purchases, and there's gonna be like probably some like ranking that you would like to boost your character, or you would like to boost like your game to like get some good place in the ranking table. And I think like this is the reason like why we should like focus on each like genre like separately. Like for example, for the like casino games is also like different, because it's directly like getting some like currencies, but after the video, like when they're out of money in the game or something like that. So for strategy games is different. For like sports games is different. Maybe it can like let you to like transfer a much better player after you like watch some like reward granted video. But okay, what is the reason like the people to watch like reward granted video for example on hyper casual or casual games? So there is like the connection is like cut in that part. So that's why like also that the structure of these games are also changing to keep the players like want to improve their characters or their like games, instead of like giving some just like how to say, like add reward or something like that.
Are there any localizations? I know the platform that you guys have built, allows you to really see the ad creatives of some of your competitors. You can create ad creatives on your own really quickly here by doing some analysis. Are there any type of like markets that you've seen, because the mobile gaming space is so worldwide? Are there markets that people who are like US centric or Western centric, they're missing out on that end?
Yeah, that's totally correct. Like, because that's also like one of the key point. And as we say, like how like each genre has different structures. Also, each like geographies has also different structures like to need to focus on. When I like give some example about also the localization, I really like seen a really right example the last year for one of the Turkish game company. They were like making some like football games, and I guess it was like just like or maybe it's like 2 years ago, maybe like after Euro Cup or World Cup, like some of that. So they just like focus on each countries in Europe like separately, and they made like specific localization, especially on creatives, because this is also like critical. And after that, like for example, you are a user like from Italy, and you like to download that game. So you see on the creatives of the game, so it shows you the creatives with the Italian flag. So you know that just before the like big events also like people would like to like support their own countries or something. So they increased the user acquisition over like 15%, which was really great. And so that's why like there is like that's really important also in the Asian side, like in Japan, in Korea, in China, they also have like different structures like that you can use in your creatives, or you can avoid to use in your creatives for the user acquisition. It can be some colors, some numbers can be counted like unlucky numbers, unlucky colors, or lucky colors, or like this kind, you know, like this kind of differences. Yeah.
Cool. Was there anything I missed, that you want to make sure we hit on?
Just want to relate to the localization.
Yeah.
It's an interesting topic because we see the same thing with, the kind of the ads. So there are like places where there's more limited internet bandwidth, and therefore we might see a bit less video. It depends, like, if it's a user who is roaming, he might have an issue loading videos. It depends where he's at. And these kind of regions, they tend to be a bit more banner heavy because these are lighter ads. Just on that. But besides that, when looking into the future, and some of the thoughts that we have is that what we anticipate that will happen is that we're going to see a lot more bidding, a lot more networks which are going to be bidding, a lot of automation, so a lot less work, the manual work that that developers will need to do in integrating all the networks and managing these very long waterfalls. We see a lot of that is going to be automated. Transparency is a key, and therefore here at Fyber we have a lot of reporting for this. So the actual developer, he can see exactly what is happening. And once there'll be more and more transparency, then there's going to be more brand. The brand is going to want all that. They're going to want to know exactly what is happening. They have their own metrics. They're a bit more traditional, and they're going to want to know that the users that they are buying are a certain kind of users that they're searching for. And they're going to want to know that the user is actually seeing this specific ad. And I believe together with automation and the transparency, we're going to see a lot more of brand dollar go into gaming.
What do you think the brands are doing? I mean, are they taking them to their own apps? Are you taking the website? What are the brands doing on their ads?
It depends. Like there are different brand ads. Like there's brand performance, which is brand and performance. Like if you can go to an Amazon ad, but sometimes they will want you to register. They'll want you to register to something. I mean, if you're going to see a Toyota ad, most likely you're not going to buy a Toyota car within 10 seconds or 10 minutes, right? But there's brand awareness. You're aware of the Toyota. And this works for the brand buyers. So sometimes they'll want you to register to something or to some kind of newsletter. Sometimes they're going to want you to download an app, but they're definitely taking you to see these brands and to be aware of certain brands that are in this space.
Got it.
Yeah, there are quite a few big names that you can see. Like Procter and Gamble and McDonald's and many others that they tend to advertise.
I never thought I would have it, but I do have the McDonald's app on my phone right now. John, anything I missed that you want to make sure we cover?
No, that was a great conversation. Like I think we hit all the points like which people are looking for, because just after we had the first webinar, like I realized that people are really interested in hyper casual, especially as like right now many new studios also appear in this business, like to create hyper casual games. So I would like to also want to clarify their questions about how to enter the market or how to like fix their strategies in a decent way or something. And I want to say that again, this business is also changing. Like I don't think by the end of the year we will see the similar hyper casual games. I'm sure that there's going to be like in-app purchases, and there's going to be ranking as well. So we will see this year, we will see the hybrid casuals for sure. I can say that.
Yeah, it looks like the video is still the primary way that mobile games are advertising. I'm going to share this slide real quick here. So it doesn't seem to matter in terms of genre. Hey, look, video ads from a rewarded video standpoint, from just a pure UA standpoint, video ads, video creatives are the ones that most mobile games are advertising or using.
Yeah. And right now, the speed of mobile devices, also the mobile internet speed is getting higher year by year. And also that's the reason why the video ads are being more used than the other ones. So I'm sure that it's going to be also like playable ones is going to take like more place in upcoming years. Well, of course, for the playable ones, the cost of the ads are a little bit higher than the video and the image ones, but that's also effective. Probably Ido also knows about that. I've seen also many like non-gaming like apps, like brands or something, like they're also using right now some playable ads, which is also interesting because we used to see these ads for gaming mostly. Now we also can see for like shopping apps, like shopping brands, like e-com brands. Yeah, I like this because it's a really dynamic market, so you need to follow up all the time.
You know, one thing, you know, John brought this up, like it got me thinking about offer walls. And have you seen offer walls being used in non-gaming apps at all?
Non-gaming, yes, you have certain service utility apps where, for instance, phone game, not games, but phone apps, that's such. So you will have some kind of, on dating is also big. So dating, many of the dating apps, they have an offer wall. So yeah, utility and dating, I guess this would be the majority.
All right, to the audience out there, let's not let just Colin be the one, that person that got the question. So if you got any questions, we got a few more minutes left. We put it into the chat below and we'll answer them while we have these fellas for the next couple of more minutes. But let's take a quick break while people think about good questions. No, I know, John, you came up with a dad joke. And so let's do a dad joke round. Let's see which panelist wins this. All right. And we'll figure out what to play for, because I like to always play for something, whether it's push-ups, coffee, whatever it is. John, you want to kick it off or you want me to kick it off? Because you might need some time.
Are you going to have like just one by one, or like you again have two?
No, just one. We'll just do one. One winner takes all. There's one round.
Okay, take the lead, please. Yeah.
You want me to go first? All right.
Yeah.
I will go first. All right, fellas, what happens when you crash your new Kia? What happens, it's talking about brands, Ido, what happens when you crash your new Kia? You end up with no Kia. There you go. All right. John, you got one?
Yeah. What do you call a car that wants to speak to the manager? A McCarran.
All right. Ido?
I feel like I wasn't ready for this one. I'll Google it. I'll get back to you.
All right. Well, we'll have you audience participate if you don't mind putting it in the comments. Right now, for now, we'll just put J. We'll just go John, right? John. And then we'll wait for Ido, but S for now. And then we do have a question. All right, guys. How have Apple's IDFA privacy changes affected the way publishers interact with different OSs? Are we expecting further changes with Google's privacy moves?
Yeah, for sure. Like, sorry. Yeah.
Go ahead, kick it off, please.
Like right now, like it's like last year for the iOS, like also publishers and the advertisers are facing really like more difficulties because they are not able to tag the audience right now. So like, so if I need to give an example, it's like, instead of like just to take a slice of the cake, like you need to get the whole cake and you need to get the right results right now on the iOS platforms, because you cannot like tag them and you cannot specifically mark like their like how is they spending or what are they into or something like that. And this is the reason why we also expect to some like changes to the Android base, like actually like Google Play, I mean, because for the incomes, actually for the studios, the best income was always coming from the Apple users. That was the main reason why they were really persistent on that. But right now, we also expect an increase for the like Google side, because Google is still letting to advertisers like to tag and analyze their audience or something like that. And the second reason, if I need to give an example, and there is like for the Android users, they are also recently they're also like spending like more like money than before on the gaming actually. And because right now also the market is changing, and if we take the market as global, of course, for maybe for the US market, the structure is going to be different maybe, but if we take it also as a global, we also have the China market and everything, like each market also has like different for the also operating system and for the privacy ones. For example, in China, they still know like Google Play. So of course the Apple is not going to get affected so much because it has also has a place over there. But for the countries like, let's say in India, okay, the audience is not like so willing to spend so much on their mobile devices, but the percentage of like Google is much higher than the iOS also. And we are expecting like this kind of changes, of course, but what we don't know is like Apple, like iOS is going to take an action about that, like, because personally, I don't think this is going to take for a long time. Like, this is like my opinion, actually. And because they are really also like pushed by the advertisers, also the game producers and everything. And I expect like Apple might also take some action about that.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, you spoke a lot about hyper casuals. So, from what I noticed is that many times the hyper casual studios, they would first test on iOS in the past. Mm-hmm. And now some of them move to test when they have like a new app going live. Now, many of them are testing on Android. So this is one of the changes. Yet we still see a lot of the hyper casuals publishers still doing a lot of iOS. So it doesn't seem like that has gone away. The thing is that contextual signals, in terms of monetization, we here at Fyber, we use a lot of contextual signals. We don't know who the user is, but we can see according to his behavior, if this user is going to click, is not going to click. We send a lot of signals to our demand, and they know what kind of user this is and how worth it is for them. For instance, the language of the language, or how many ads did the user click, where is the user from. There are a lot of signals we can send them, and then according to that, they're still able to buy users. And we see even a lot of the IAP buyers, like very big in-app purchase buyers, they still buy in scale users on iOS since the deprecation of the IDFA.
Wow.
Actually, that's the reason why right now the advertisers need the third-party tools to analyze and make it like much more effective than before. Because right now is much harder than before to be able to test by yourself or analyze by yourself. And we are also bringing these solutions to our clients, because as Ido say, like before the test was making on iOS first on the hyper casual. Now that is also changing, but iOS is still the most important, also the operating system. But the advertisers they seem a bit lost about that, because they cannot analyze 100%. So that's why they need the third-party tools like Fyber or like us, SocialPeta, to make them able to create a right like strategy and effective strategy.
You got your dad joke now?
Yeah, I wrote it down. I thought the dryer was shrinking my clothes. Turns out it was the refrigerator all along.
I like it. I get it. I get it. It's a pandemic joke in a way. All right, guys. So put E if you thought Ito won, put J if you thought John won, put S if you thought Steve won. Ito, anything I missed on your end that you want to make sure we talk about before we say goodbye?
No, just like, I'll constantly test, make sure that, when you work with a mediation layer, that you know exactly what is happening. It's not a black box. That you get a lot of that you diversify with brand, with different formats, keep testing new things, keep testing new formats and new networks. And if you don't test, if you don't move on quickly, then in this industry, it's, things move very fast, and, you must move quickly.
John, final thoughts?
Yeah, again, I would like to thank you for this chance to meeting with your audience here. And we are here, if you just start also the hyper casual business, especially market, if you just open, if you know how to create great games, but if you have some hesitations and question marks about how I'm going to put my game in front and how I'm going to make the people see aware of my game. So we are here to help you, and they can reach me anytime. We can provide some free trials to make them experience also. And because that's the best way to experience by yourself actually for this kind of tools. And because sometimes good games can cannot get aware by the audience just because of a bad marketing strategy. So don't let your own products and own games to get lost like that. So we are here to help.
I love it. All right. To the audience and to those who might be listening it on the podcast, it is fyber.com, Fyber. If you want a full suite of UA and monetization solutions, if you want access to those amazing brands that Ito was talking about, go check out fyber.com. And if you want to decrease your time to create the most winning ad creatives, it is SocialPeta, PETA.com, SocialPeta.com. They're going to give you the insights that you need to make the most intelligent ad creatives that are going to bring in the users and keep them within your app. Ito, if the audience wants to connect with you in any other way, do you want to send them anywhere else besides fyber.com?
I think they'll find their way, but I can also share my email, and they can reach me out. Definitely.
All right. What's your email?
Sorry. Yeah, I'll put it right now.
All right. We'll put it in the chat. And guys, because I messed up earlier, it is Fyber Digital Turbine Company. Digital Turbine. I should just be a cool kid and call it DT like everybody else was doing, but Digital Turbine. And then John, if the audience wants to follow up with you in any other way, do you want to send them anywhere else besides SocialPeta?
Yeah, they can reach us on the website, and I can also write my email address here. They can reach me on LinkedIn if they need anytime. I can also share the presentation, because it was also requested recently to share the presentation with them, the PPT file. And yeah, I type my email here, so anytime I'm here, if they need any help.
If you guys can't see the email, just find them on LinkedIn. Look for their names. It's Ito Hofstetter, and then John's name is wicked, but it's Ken Burke. If you're English speaking, it's Ken Burke, B-E-R-K, and just look for him on LinkedIn as well. Fellas, I'm sorry to say, but for you guys, I'm honored to say that I ran away with the Jad joke round and I ended up winning my Nokia joke. But so thank you guys for joining. I am at AppMasters. If you guys want to work with us, we help you guys with your ASO and your monetization as well, especially for subscription-based apps. Ito, John, thank you so much for your time. To the audience, thank you guys for joining. We will see you guys next time. Bye.
Thank you.